Warm welcome to a podcast at lunchtime on Wednesday, the 22nd of October, 2025, the 14th one of the season. 14, so we're obviously on the subs bench. Right, with myself, David Tavener, the ever-chuckling Jake Ellacott.
Hello, Dave. What start this has been? How are you?
I'm very well. And the head of Rivers in St Albans, Lee Wood.
I wonder what you were going to say there, mate. Good afternoon, fellas. How are we all keeping?
Very well indeed. I believe you're at some sort of meeting last night, Lee, which sounds quite interesting. About River Ver, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah. I don't know where this is going. I don't entirely like it either. Let's focus on.
Okay, wait, get back to football. Oh, we're going to talk about that. We'll have to talk about St Albans, aren't we? Right, we're looking back on Saturday's game first of all. The return of Rod Stringer to Clarence Park. That was probably the big story. Temporary manager of Welling United. 2-1 win for
the word there, boys. I think
2-1 win for the Saints. Leo Sery scored again, a fourth successive game in which he has played. He has scored. Michael Bostwick, our new captain, while Zane Banton is out injured. Excellent crowds of 1,614. And no bookings after 29 games of bookings either for us or the opposition. That was down to referee Kiefer Mayhew from Hemel Hempstead. Who would have thought anyone from Hemel knows anything about football? But there you go. Welling, I thought, they're in the relegation zone again. They're used to that. They spent a couple of seasons in it. I thought they actually weren't that bad. And you can see them getting out of trouble in what is a very, very, at best, mediocre league. If they stick together, they should be all right. But a good win for us. Tiredness, fatigue looks to be playing a part with us. We were nowhere near our best. Well, we don't know what our best is. I hope this isn't our best. We keep saying this every week. There's more to come from this side, you want to think. But we just ground it out again, didn't we, Jake?
Yeah, we did. I think immediately after the game, I said to some fans, that feels like a big win, not because of our display or performance or anything we particularly did on the day, but because we ground it out and we actually really fought for that win. I think maybe we sat in a little bit too much towards the end, but generally we showed a bit of grit and determination. And it would have been really easy to lose that game after the exploits from the Tuesday night, 120 minutes of football against we know what Rod Stringer teams are like, don't we? They are not exactly pleasurable to come up against. He's got them working hard, and it was I think a really good result in the circumstances.
You could almost apply that to us. Not good to come up against. We work hard, not pretty, but we grind things out. What about you and Lee? Were you a bit concerned when Welling got back level? Because we had lost our way a little bit by then.
Yeah, you can see it coming, couldn't you? We sat deeper and deeper. I don't know whether there's just an expectancy from our defenders, because the thing is, we've done it quite a lot in games where we're quite happy to let them have possession, and we almost have confidence in our ability just to repel it. We are defending quite staunchly. We don't concede a lot of goals, but it is a concern, the fact that we just invite teams on us. But again, I think this sort of lends itself to the hangover from the previous Tuesday night. There's a lot of that going into the game, Jake, about who he would start, what sort of formation and what fallout in terms of fitness we were going to see.
Yeah, there was, especially with likes of Leo Sery going off on Tuesday night against Banbury. I think there was quite a few concerns, wasn't there, amongst the Saints fans, of thinking this isn't the game we particularly want right now. But, I thought we did all right first half, and then I think, as you say, Lee, second half, it sort of felt coming, that equaliser, didn't it? And then just for a little period afterwards, I think it just felt uh-oh. And it was really important that we took the lead again so quickly after that goal. I think if we hadn't, I think it would have been a real slog to the end.
Yeah, Leo gave us that lead just before half-time. And from a touchline, we all thought he'd headed it home. It's only when, I think you sent me Colin Thompson's video, Jake, but it was a really well-taken, well-crafted volley.
Yeah.
Quick thinking. It's very good. Must have looked pretty good from behind the goal.
It was brilliant, wasn't it, Lee? And I think it's those sort of moments of magic that Seri is now starting to show us, isn't he? He's still, he's not a perfect player, but they sort of little bits of ideas, both in and around and outside the box, that I think fans are really starting to enjoy. And also on Colin, he wouldn't shut up about recording that goal and the second goal. So the less we can credit him, the better, I think.
Oh, definitely, no problem there. And this is why I think you mentioned about Leo there. This is why people are lashing onto him. He's doing different things. He's showing so much energy. He really does work his little cotton socks off. But he's trying little things. None of it seemed to work on Tuesday night at Cray. His little things that didn't work there. But this is what's standing him out in a side that, I'll use that word again, grinds things out. And so he's being a little bit different. That's why I stand out. And quite often it is coming off. And he's been rewarded with quite a few goals lately.
Yeah, I think what it is as well, he's about to sort of show endeavour and character. Because the thing is, unfortunately, I think, yes, the limitations of some players have been shown at various points this season. But I don't think you can discredit anything to this side at the minute. 12 games unbeaten. There will be times when, they fall short again. There will be times when these players try things and then they don't come off. But it's not costing us. These players, they're not costing us, points at the minute. They're really working hard. And I'll tell you what, give me a team full of hard workers over some of the charlatans that have pulled on the yellow and blue over the past half a dozen years under the previous incumbents of the City managership. You cannot fault their endeavour, their character. There is a culture there at the minute, Dave. And whilst we have to appreciate the level in which we're playing, the players which are playing for us are showing a monumental amount of character to basically propel themselves into the FA Cup first round proper. But obviously, we're on an unbeaten run for a team that has basically been forged overnight in the summer. Have done fantastically well for us so far.
Have you got a list of charlatans there, Lee, you want to run through?
Off camera, mate, yeah.
Right, following the game against Banbury, Ian made two changes with Sam Smart and Jasper Mayfer coming back into the side, which meant injured Zane Banton had to miss out, and he's missing again last night at Cray. And Alex Wall was relegated back to the bench. That's Smart. His last game before starting the 3-match ban. He's been out of form lately, and I thought, again, I was hoping this would give him a chance to pick up a bit of form. That's good. The computer's gone down. Get a bit of form before he starts his ban. But it wasn't a great day for him again, was it?
No, I was standing next to a mate of mine, and he bought a mate who's a Welling fan. He doesn't come to that many City games, but he's aware of the players and all of that. He just said Sam Smart just keeps running away from all his support. It's great to see a winger or an attacking forward try and take on these players. No problem with that. And yes, okay, losing the ball in attacking areas, fine. But he does it all the time. And I don't think he seems to understand the fact that when you run away from defenders, run away from your support, you're going to alienate yourself and isolate yourself to a degree where you're just not productive in the game. I do feel for him because there is talent there, undoubtedly. And at the start of the season, there were even bigger glimpses of that. But you're right, Dave. He has sort of seemed to tail off in the last month or so. Yeah,
you just hope this break does him some good. Another one that came in, Jake, we mentioned was Jasper Mayfer. What do you think of him on Saturday?
I thought he struggled to an extent, to be honest, similar to Sam. I think Jasper was okay. He did a few nice little bits down the left, sort of trying to cut inside, but he wasn't quite as impactful as he has been in recent games. And I think it's notable as well, he seems to be sort of sticking out wide a little bit more last couple of games. He's not really necessarily floating into the area and putting those chances away that he had been up until recently. So I don't know if that's a slight change of approach, but again, I think both of them struggled really to have an impact on the game that they would have really liked to, considering not long to a big cup game. They'd have been looking to put themselves in contention for a starting place.
Again, not for the first time in recent games, the one who stood out at the back, Michael Bostwick, now captain in Zane's absence. I think we mentioned it before. He hadn't played between November last year and pre-season with us. And you start the season, you thought, no, he's past it. His age has caught up with him. But no, it's his match fitness, isn't it? Now he's dominating at the back there. He will struggle for speed, no two ways about that. But he's dominating everything that's being thrown at him. Burton could be an interesting game, I think. And also, he's not got Jamal Fifield alongside him at the moment through his injury, however long-term that may be. So we're starting to look more at Kieran Gauthier. He came on just after half-time Saturday. He started a league game last night for the first time since early October last year. And you think that could well be the partnership Ian's going to stick with now, rather than keep pushing Jack James inside.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think Jack James did anything particularly wrong, to be fair. But
no, he's doing he's playing well at the moment.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing well. Yeah. I think the fact of the matter is that what you're seeing now is a fitter body at the back. I mean, as you say, Dave, the bloke's an absolute colossus, commanding everything. And I think with Kieran alongside him, Kieran will learn a lot. I've got no problem with Kieran Gauthier coming in because obviously he played well in the chances he did get latter into last year. So he's a good player. Whether he is a preferred choice over Fifield, I don't know. But look, it's a good option to have, right? We've been lamenting the fact that there's no sort of strength in depth, but Kieran certainly does fall into that. So hopefully he can sort of come in and it won't upset the dynamic of the defence too much.
We had 4 attacking players on the bench on Saturday, midway through the half when we restored our lead by then. Ian took off Jasper and Leo, and he sent on the Dam Busters, sent on Alex Wall and Harrison Smith. And Harrison, his first touch was really good, a header, which put a Wall in. I think that's when he had that shot and the keeper made a good save. Kai Mackenzie Logue. And he looked promising. But after that, Harrison, again, he wasn't at his best. He's struggling again at the moment. Unfortunately, it was my prediction to get goals early in the season, and his performances at the moment, well, they're not looking like it's going to happen, do they?
Go on, Lee. I know you have a few things to say.
Oh, you swine. There was someone, we were having a discussion about drop off of players, and SJ9, that was mentioned in the same context where, you know, a player has just gone off the boil completely. But I don't think Harrison Smith was at the level of SJ9. There was no body of work prior to him coming into the club, really. Yes, a good player, a good prospect, certainly. The issue I've got at the minute is that he's so low on confidence. I'm sort of, you know, reserved to sort of criticise him as a player because there's obviously something wrong. There's fundamentally something wrong there. And until he finds his mojo back, until he finds his touch back, you know, yes, but you can only criticise and comment on what you've seen. Glaring opportunity in the second half to really wrap it all up. He did the hard work when he dispossessed the defender on the left-hand side and threw on goal. All he had to do was square it to Alex Wall. Chances are Wall may have missed it anyway, but that's not the point. You know, the fact of the matter is that it was just a glaringly obvious ball to make. Instead, I think because he's so low on confidence, he just wants to get that goal. So desperate in doing so, the keeper made, okay, it was an easy save, but it's still a good save to make. I think the context here, Dave, is that you've got your 2 dam busters who were, everyone was pinning their hopes on at the start of the season, and they've just not performed. And yet it's the fringe players, your Sippetts, your Serys, your Jaspers, who are really keeping us afloat and keeping us in game so far. So I don't really know if Harrison Smith is the answer any more than he was this time, sort of back into last year.
At the moment, he is certainly not. We're assuming he's back to full fitness. It could be another Michael Bostwick thing. He's not back to full fitness because his career's been whacked by injury again and again and again. It was with us pre-season. So maybe there's something like that to look at.
Okay, so Dave, can I say, how long did you give him then? I mean, seriously,
yeah.
There's chances that he's creating. Okay, he got a goal here in the cup in the previous rounds there. But the fact of the matter is, mate, is he's coming on. He's shown little glimpses, but as a striker, you want to see more from him, right, boys?
The thing at the moment, he's well behind Alex Wall, who is making an impression. Who's doing far better than a lot of people thought he was capable of at the end of last season. And Alex, it's funny with Alex. I think we mentioned this on the way home last night, Jake. A club seemed to be picking on him. I mean, yesterday, he took an unbelievable whack off the ball. When the player didn't get booked, he smacked him again in front of the referee a minute later. Did get booked. And there seems to be a bit of picking on him all the way around. Maybe he does like to give a little bit out as well. But he is proving a real distraction for defenders, which you can't say about Harrison, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think even before we get to Tuesday night, I thought on Saturday when both of them came on, I thought there was one that seemed to link up quite well with the other players in the team. And unfortunately, Smith wasn't that player. It was Wall. I think he's certainly come on a few leaps and bounds in the last even 2 weeks or so, actually, in terms of his all-round play. I don't know if it's suddenly he's thinking, I've got a decent chance here of being sort of the main man up front. He needs to start scoring goals. But his all-round play has definitely improved. And Smith, I want him to do well with City, but it's just not quite clicking. We all want him to do well. Every Saints fan is egging him on, just not quite there at the minute, which is a real shame. And at the minute, Wall is definitely, I think, probably the better option for now. That might change in a week's time, but his all-round play has definitely improved.
Ian keeps chucking young Tom Jennings on late in games and giving him experience. No problem with that at all. He's young, he's enthusiastic, and he's shown little bits, hasn't he? He's going to be worth persevering with.
He is, and he's certainly jumped ahead of the likes of Nick Ralph, etc., hasn't he? Even Sippetts. So they clearly like him, the management team. So he's proven to be option. And talking of late moments in the game, I just want to give a mention to Magnus Norman. He made what looked like a really good save from the other end. Point blank range. He had to get his hands up and get it away. That could prove to be a really important save come the end of the season.
Yeah. In the Welling lineup, there's one City old boy, Luke Allen, who's well into his 30s now, I think. I liked him. He was a good ball player. Didn't really spend that long with us in the end. Right. Anything else about Welling?
No.
3 points, boys. Sort of matters.
Yeah.
It is. Right. On to last night. Did he renew his friendship with one of our owners? I believe they got on very well.
No, I don't. The less we say about that, the better.
Owners, move on.
Down to, where was it, South East London yesterday. Chislehurst, home of Cray Wanderers, Flamingo Park. 4th away game with them, 4 different grounds, as I think we said before.
Was it nice?
Well, yeah, a car park. It looks like it's been visited by Putin and his cronies. You wouldn't want to spend too long in there.
I didn't see that coming.
But the ground is neat, isn't it, Jake? It's sparse. It's got one stand that goes down most of one side. One goal has got sort of 3 steps behind it, which is terracing. It's got an old clubhouse. I'd love to know the history of that, because they claim to be the oldest football club in London. That would be interesting. But the ground, it is sparse, isn't it, Jake? It's a modern ground for a small club that's on the way up, and they're going to have to do a bit of adding to it if they keep going up.
Indeed. And they also had one of the biggest TV screens I've ever seen in my life out by the side of the pitch that I thought would be a scoreboard, but was just showing Sky Sports. So it's nice to be able to watch that from the other end of the ground during the second half. But otherwise, no. I think the only thing is when you hear the name Flamingo, you think, oh, this is going to be a lovely place to go to. The vibes are going to be brilliant. As you say, Dave, it wasn't quite, no. But there you go.
Well, it's Flamingos, which is why, of course, we wore our pink kit. And if they play Staines on Saturday and it's the Swans, they'll have to change their ground to Swan Park.
Oh,
I think that's how it works.
Goodness me.
This was going to be a tough game. they like drawing at the moment. They've drawn their last 5 away games. The Wands, which I can't stand as a nickname, so we'll stick with Cray. And they did look one of the better sides. But in that first half, they looked like so many of the sides we played this season got problems up front. They couldn't shoot straight for a start. And Magnus, all he had to do is keep going behind to collect the ball for goal kicks. They were close, but they were off target. But second half, you mentioned the save Magnus made on Saturday. He was in top form last night, wasn't he? It's not to say it's down to him solely that we got the point, because I thought we really battled well and deserved a point. We've got a lot going on at the moment with all these games. And I thought it was a good battling performance, Jake, and it was positive as well. Later in the game, we were really pushing, trying to get that equaliser.
It was positive, though. Actually, I thought we started the game well. We
did.
We looked to exploit space down both wings. Leo Sery was dropping into the hole in midfield and bursting forward, which was working really well. You had the fullbacks cutting in or getting crosses in. The only thing that was missing, I think, was actually a ball that was quite accurate. I think there's a few deliveries in that didn't quite find Alex Wall or Leo Sery. But other than that, we looked positive. We hit the post with a really good free kick from Troy Perez-Dewar. But then second half, Cray just started to take control of the game, didn't they, for about 20, 25 minutes or so. And then they suddenly looked like that team that are going to be really hard to beat. And you think will be up there in the playoff contention this season. And they had players like Tom Bonner at the back, experienced sort of everything that went towards him in that second half. Suddenly he was just dealing with and looking like it was no trouble at all. But then I say, Dave, we finished with that positive intent again and we got rewarded.
It's interesting you said about we started well, which we did. You compare that to Saturday, whereas Welling United, they were on top at the start of both halves. So it's good to see us last night. Do it the other way around. Rather than wait for a club to run out of steam, we get at them. But when they took that lead, ball in from the left, the goal scorer, shouldn't do this, should I? Karim Islaka. I think it might have been Kieran who got in front of and just managed to stab it past Magnus. Yeah. It felt ominous then, didn't it? Because they did get a few more chances after that, but we hung in there.
We did, and I suppose we should mention that in the build-up to their goal, it looked to be a foul, wasn't it? Right in front of you, Dave.
clear foul on James Sweet, I think it was. Shocking decision. That linesman wasn't going to make a decision all night.
Did you let your feelings be known to the officials, Dave?
Well, we suggested he might like to join in sometime, the lino. But
I thought you might, yeah.
Yeah. Try and justify standing there. Anyway, there you go. Well, I mentioned Gote there. He came in for his first league start. So 2 changes again. The other one was Eze Ebuzoeme. Not the tallest player in the world, a 20-year-old, on loan to us from Coventry City. Now, what a surprise. We've got a vast array of scouts spotting talent all over the country. Diminutive, but he looked really useful, Jake, didn't he? I thought he used the ball really well.
He did, yeah. He sort of lined up in that almost Zane Banton role, didn't he? Sort of between the attack and the midfield. And I thought he actually looked really good in tight spaces when he had 2 free Cray Wanderers around him, Cray men around him. And he just seemed to get past them with ease. And I'm sure you noticed this, was he always looked forward as well, didn't he? He'd turn on the ball and always looked forward. He didn't necessarily look to go backwards or look for options. He quite often took it on by himself and did a really good job. So for a first game in the City shirt, I thought it was a really positive debut for him.
Yeah, anybody looking at the stats will say he got booked on his debut, which is not good. But I thought he was so unlucky. That ball was sitting there, 2 players go for it.
Yeah, he's
got shorter legs, so he got there a little bit later. And he was so unlucky to get a card for that. But yes, a promising player. We'll see what comes of him in time. I wonder if he'd be cup tied for the cup. Coventry won't want him to play.
You wouldn't have thought so.
No, because Coventry have obviously got their eyes on winning it this year. We should see. Right, one other change. No, that's the 2 changes. The players went out, Smart suspended, and Mayfield went back to the bench. There's not a lot else to say about the game. Magnus had a good game. One thing I will say, Jack James, great header for our goal.
Yes.
Very well saved by Harry Seedon. I think you had a nice conversation with Harry Seedon, weren't you, Jake? And also Tom Bonner. And Sippetts was alert, tucked it in. So 2 goals for him, and Jasper's got 6. You put them together, and I think those 8 goals must be stretch out about 12 yards now from goal. But that's it. You want a predator in there, and that's what we had.
Yeah, we did, and that pressure finally told, didn't it, in a couple of minutes? And it was good to see George score because his options at time and pitch have been so limited. But you want someone there, and that is a testament to him. He has been there on those 2 occasions to put the ball in the back of the net, and unfortunately, other forwards in the squad haven't been so far. So it was great to see that. And as you say, the subs probably worked, didn't they? Just about the change in approach, throwing a few more forwards on, which was good. And when you score that late on, even if it's just for a point, it just feels so good, doesn't it? I think we timed it, didn't we, Dave? About 20 seconds left of added time. So to do it at that point, that sends the following Saints fans home happy, even if it, isn't, wasn't the most entertaining of games. It was an all right game, but Saints fans were certainly very happy afterwards.
4 minutes of added time, they said, and it was 3 minutes 30 odd when he poked the ball in. So excellent timing indeed. You talk about substitutes working. Well, subs were Harrison Smith, Jesper Mather, George Sippetts, Tom Jennings, all attacking players, plus Eze Ebuzoeme in midfield. Not exactly the most negative bench in the world.
No, it wasn't.
But is that limited options as well that he's got at the moment?
I think it is. We suddenly see the squad's just a few knocks here and there. Squad's suddenly starting to look a bit light again. So I don't think there is much else in terms of options to bring onto there. But what it is nice is at least means you've got players that can potentially change a game. That's something, again, we talked about last season, didn't we? Quite often the squad would bring players on and think, they're actually not going to change this. Whereas you've got players that can hopefully do that. It's just, I think for a lot of them, it's just a bit more time on the pitch to prove that they can.
I sent a question today. Do we need loan players? Well, we've seen the start of it. Last night was the first one. You've mentioned it in the past, Lee. Can you see this becoming a regular thing now?
Possibly. I think what you will see is quality coming in. I mean, what the formation, it smacks to me, Dave, that Ian Culverhouse shared your concerns about the game last night and what Cray were going to offer. So maybe it was a case of just sort of keep it tight, flood the midfield with a little bit of quality and numbers, and then build up from there. And then if needs be, then you can rely on the likes of George Sippetts and the attacking forward players as the game progresses. Loan players, I don't know. I mean, I don't think, other than a striker, there's no glaring position at the minute which needs addressing. I think once Zane is back fit, that will take a whole load of issues off of the midfield. But look, I think we've got loads of games coming up in a short space of time. We've got a really important cup game as well. But Ian won't want to take his eye off the importance of the league. And if these fellas coming in from the professional teams are cup tied, then these guys can really sort of kick on as well in terms of the league games. So yeah, we'll wait and see, mate. But who knows?
Were you able to follow the game at all last night?
No, as you've previously stated, I was in the river, so no. But it was interesting to hear you boys actually, Jake, on our little chat. Betchman has got a lot of plaudits about his game as well, but also just the never die attitude. Again, that culture of we're finding it hard to be, and I think that's a really good trait going into a quite important time of the year.
Yeah.
In the build-up to our goal, Cray went down the other end and tried to hold the ball by the corner flag, which is a tactic that I absolutely detest, whether we're doing it or opposition. But they lost it cheaply. They gave us a goal kick within a few seconds, very cheaply. And I think that mentality then goes through the team. You're thinking, game's almost up. And you switch off a bit. And so they just sat back. two really sloppy clearances in the build-up to our goal. And they paid the price for it. So I think you're better off playing your normal game so everybody stays focused and switched on, going down the corner, and they got what they deserved from it.
Oh, look at that. I'll let you tell Tom Bonner that next time we see him, Dave, yeah?
How did your conversation with him go, Jake?
I mean, to be fair, it was him chatting to some other fans, and he was just expressing some opinions about the Saints squad, actually. There's nothing horrible said between fans. And also, I think the goalkeeper regretted coming up to the fans and saying 1-0, lads, when they were still leading. So as you can imagine, that went down well. So there you go. Before we move on, again, I want to mention Michael Bostwick. We keep praising him every week, but he was really, really good at the back again, I thought, last night. And it's now...
Is he paying you for this, mate, or what?
Yeah, well, as you can see, he's doing a Jake Ellacott tribute act with his beard and everything now. So, but seriously though, I think he's looking like a real leader on the pitch. The Saints fans showed that appreciation last night, and he is really, really impressing. And Dave, like I said, you can tell he just looks match fit now, doesn't he? And he's looking like the player that we thought we were going to be signing in the summer.
Yes, very good. Right, okay. That win on a Tuesday night is significant. I can't remember what it was. I've lost my file here with it.
Good chat.
It's coming. It's coming. Yes,
no.
it was our 170th. No, it wasn't it? 175th away win. Forget it.
Oh my goodness me, Dave's
You've only had
delirious.
some sort of club historian to sort of have these sort of stats at his fingertips.
Lapsed. Naturally.
Too busy abusing officials, mate, with your mate Tim Petty on the bloody sidelines.
Oh God! I had to cut out one video last night thanks to him. Right, this coming Saturday.
Oh my God.
This coming Saturday, just for a change, we are back in cup action. That hasn't happened for a while, has it? This time it's Hanwell Town, a club we haven't played before. A club got its roots in the North East. A load of Geordies, I think in the 1930s, they came down, started working down here, built themselves a football club, and they've retained their Geordie roots ever since, playing in Newcastle kit, and accordingly win nothing, which isn't quite true, actually. So we got them in the FA Trophy. They got one former Saint down there, Taylor Miles. Any memories?
God, well,
no, not good ones.
It was I thought he was all right. He was all right midfield, but I don't think he ever quite lived up to the hope and expectation I think a lot of fans expected of him. So I'm looking forward to his hat trick on Saturday. So there you go.
Yeah, didn't he join us? Was it from Concord?
It
Something
was,
like
yes.
that originally, and he looked quite useful. But as you say, maybe didn't flourish with us as we had hoped. Right, the FA Trophy. How seriously are we going to take it? We've got the FA Cup following Saturday. The trophy is nice, but it just hasn't got the same appeal at all. I suspect the side that finished last night is going to be a lot closer to the one that starts on Saturday than the one that started last night. Some of the players who have been on the bench lately, I think they could be starting.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary. But they need minutes, don't they? They need minutes, They need match fitness, they need to be playing. Because who knows, whatever happens, we might suddenly be relying at Burton. So I think that's a fair summation. And I think it could be a good opportunity for some of them to show what they've got, especially someone like Sippetts. You'd imagine he'll take a lot of confidence from that goal last night. And it'd be great to see him add to his tally on Saturday.
I think the last 11 years of the FA Trophy, we've only once won 2 games during it. Another one we got through 2 rounds with a penalty shootout. So since we got to a semi-final in 99, our record hasn't been fantastic. Would you be upset if we went out Saturday, Lee?
Yes. I think, yeah, I would actually, because I think it's the perfect scenario for us in terms of everything you both alluded to. It's the perfect opportunity for players who are coming back from injury or potentially fringe players or those that haven't really got a fair crack of the whip yet. This is their time to shine. At home in an FA Trophy game, there's going to be places up for grabs. Everyone wants to be in that Burton squad going into the big sort of tie. They want to be available for that. They want to make an impression. And we've seen before the players who we were putting all our hopes on this season, They haven't performed, so there are openings there for these boys to come in and do something really, really good.
Yeah, that said, I think Ian's quite happy to keep rotating it around as much as he can, because it's a smallish squad, and keep everybody as fresh as he can. But if somebody that really does stand out, like Bosley, then he's not going to lose his place, is he? So there we go. So I suspect Harrison will come in to start again, and now Alex will be on the bench. Jasper, I think, will come in. George, Coney, Jennings might have to settle for a place on the bench again, but I can see him making wholesale changes there.
Yeah, potentially, and I think we might see one or two like Nick Ralph return to the bench, potentially to come on. So, yeah, I think both sides will probably be rotated because Hanwell have got Havant and Waterloo away tonight, don't they? You know, we all know the joy of Havant away on a Wednesday night, so that'll be fun for them. So, yeah, I suspect both teams will be a little bit changed going into Saturday.
The club very much on the up, bit inconsistent this season. Lost their last 2 league games without scoring. But they've had a couple of good runs. They're going to be hard to predict. They are so up and down, not reliable like we are.
Oh no!
Should we do a couple of predictions for these last 2 games? Oh no, we can't. I've lost.
How is the prediction league going, Dave?
It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Really? Is that why we keep doing it?
Yeah. Well, you're going to claim again last night another goal that scored after everybody had gone home. You're going to claim we won another correct
Did
result.
It count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, it does.
So the last 2 results, the last 2 predictions.
Yeah.
How did they get on in terms of us?
Yeah, you might have got them both right. Like Lee, you might have got 3 of the last 5 right.
Marvellous.
We're here just making up numbers, Jake. Come on then. Saturday, what are you going for?
I'm going to go for 3-0 Saints.
Oh my God! Right,
yes,
the streak is over.
Gone to my head now, mate. You watch.
Have you predicted us? Oh, you have predicted us scoring 3 twice this season, Jake, and we did actually win both games, so you're almost there.
God, yeah. I'm going to go
2-1 Saints.
No, 1-0 Saints.
Yes.
1-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. I think
you're going to go for a loss, aren't you?
No, should we go to an exciting 2-2?
And then what's the score going to be on penalties?
1-0.
1-0 on penalties. Could you imagine?
Is that how it works?
I think so, yeah.
Right. Okay. Following Saturday, we have another cup tie, Burton Albion at Pirelli Stadium. We've been there once before. Sort of got awful 1-0 defeat. It was only 20 years ago, just about. Right, we won't preview that game as such at the moment, because we'll do that next week. But the tickets availability was announced yesterday. Somebody sent it to me, Jake, and I'm not going to say who it was, Jake, but they put in it St Albans organisation on it as a shambles, Jake. So I don't know how you want to justify. How you want to explain the message and the ticketing details?
I did not say that. Thank you. Oh, God. I don't know where to go. Lee's gone. I'm gone. Yeah, I think Saints fans were, it's fair to say, quite surprised by the announcement when it came out yesterday. Particularly, I think there's 2 things. There's been the sudden announcement of a half-season ticket after 4 or 5 home games or home league games, and then second of all, it is and I don't think it's all City's fault, the ticket collection and sort of ordering of it. So the collection of tickets, as we understand, Burton are for some reason insisting on sending us physical tickets, which they also did with Scarborough Athletic last season in the same round. And the club are trying to organise a collection of it. But obviously a lot of Saints fans, and it is a lot of Saints fans, don't necessarily live in St Albans anymore, or have ever lived in St Albans or wherever, including you, Dave. So there's a lot of Saints fans who I think suddenly thinking, oh, how am I going to be able to collect these tickets? So I think there's 2 things there that have caused a lot of concern for City fans, and the Trust have raised it straight away with the club. And I think it's worth mentioning these things are still ongoing in terms of organising of it all, and whether there is anything that can be resolved, hopefully, very soon.
I know you're going to have something on this, Lee. What on earth are Burton playing at if they are only issuing hard copy tickets, paper tickets? In this day and age, that is an absolute nonsense. It's got to be digital. Being one of those who are against it at the start, but no, it's definitely what should be happening. Paper, shouldn't be using that. And then people, this is where St Albans have got it badly wrong. St Albans have got supporters have got to drive to Clarence Park to get a ticket. On is it 4 days you can get a ticket? 3 of them are during office hours. Well, that's good. That's really helpful. Another one, it's only open until 8 o'clock. You've only got one evening outside of work hours when you can get the tickets. All right, they've now added a note to it. I haven't realised what a cock-up they made of it first time, saying get in touch with the club after you purchase your ticket, and they'll try and find an alternative way of marrying you up with your ticket, which is something that should have been said in the very first place. It would have been nice if a club had also stated it is Burton. It is the way they do business. Hard copy tickets. Is that what they do for all their league games as well? I haven't had time to check it yet. Because it's a ridiculous way to go on in this day and age. People driving around, we're supposed to be cutting down our CO2 emissions and whatnot, and here we are, we've got to drive God knows how many miles, you have to pick up a ticket. Over to you, Lee.
I didn't realise you cared so much about the planet, Daz.
I don't. My first thought every morning.
It's Mickey Mouse all around. It absolutely is. Mrs. Wood, in her buxom intelligence that she has, she turned around to me and said, Go. Are you looking forward to the Burton game? I said, absolutely. And then she said, with the straightest of faces, well, look, because it's an away game, at least City won't upset anyone with the whole ticket situation. And I said, well, you wait. And she's proven right. But the thing is, yes, Burton haven't covered themselves in any particular glory, but I think all of this could have been fixed very easily because the tickets for the game itself are quite, they've got modest. They've not outpriced themselves. They're very competitive. I don't think it would have been a far stretch for our club to turn around and say, right, for those of you who aren't local, we will post your tickets out, recorded, signed for delivery at the cost of whatever it is the cost. And I think that would have been the easiest way to do it. Or arrange some, I think Jake said as well, arrange some sort of collection process at Burton. The whole thing's been fudged from start to finish. I think this is what annoys me, right? This is a really big game. Everyone should be focusing on the game itself, looking forward to it. Tinfoil cups and all that sort of jazz, and worrying about how much beer you're going to drink on the train, Jake, and all of this sort of stuff. Really interesting, given the fact we got relegated last season and we've been playing some absolute crap old teams this season. This game should be one thing that all the fans are looking forward to the most, right? And all the talk at the minute is about getting the tickets. And it could have been prevented by both sets of clubs, right? But the thing is, it's just about how we react to it now. Yeah, make sure that everyone who wants to go to the game gets to go to the game and is able to collect their ticket at some point. Have the club cover themselves in glory? No, of course not. But that's just standard now, unfortunately. But it's not all their own doing. Burton, paper tickets. I mean, come on. There's a collection. Every other club in the Football League has a collection point for away fans or something. And I don't see why their away ground, their away end holds what? 1,200 people? Or whatever it is. You think we're going to take 1,200 people to Burton? You know what I mean? Just maybe there's an indication of, a rule for the FA where you have to have an accountability in terms of actual physical tickets. I don't know. But look, it's not great. It's not a good look. And it just diminishes what should be an otherwise really exciting time for the club.
You're right, Lee. It's not our club's fault the way it's been screwed up, but you've got to admire them the way ours have jumped on there to make themselves look bad as well. They're very good at this when it comes to PR. But Jake mentioned about the mid-season ticket. a half-season ticket. How can you have a half-season ticket when you're 11 games into a 42-game programme? And what is it? Half a dozen home games at most. It's just a chance opportunity to cash in and rip off supporters again. It's just unacceptable. And the price isn't a bargain or anything either. And also the tickets, season ticket holders usually treated as gods to a degree because they put their money up front to a club at the start of a season. So when it comes to games like this, what happens? Season ticket holders get offered 2 tickets. I never understand that because you only got 1 season ticket. So you go and get 2 of these. But non-season ticket holders can buy as many as they like when they go on general sale. Explain that.
Yeah, I've got no issue with our club looking to really sort of cash in certain elements of the game. Merchandise perhaps, or sponsorship, but don't mess around with the tickets. They've got their fingers, but have they learned nothing from the summer when they start messing around with sort of trying to get people to buy tickets? They've not learned from their mistakes, obviously. I think the fans have made it crystal clear how they feel about the whole ticketing situation at the club anyway. So just focus your attention on getting as many fans there as possible. Stop trying to recoup some of your money that you thought you were going to get back in the summer on absolutely ludicrous ticket promotions that aren't even that good in the first place. Worry about your own house first. Get the tickets to Burton sorted out. Get that done. And then, look, you want people to pack that away end, right? So make it the easiest possible opportunity for them to do that. You know, look at your practices in-house. Burton haven't done City any favours whatsoever. But then start looking at, as Jake said, looking at mid-season tickets in bloody October. You know, it's just sort yourselves out, fellas. Seriously, it's not hard, but you're making it so hard for City fans to get on board with what you're trying to achieve at the minute.
Mind you, it's mid-season ticket. I haven't looked at the price, Jake, but from what you told me, it's not a bargain. It works out at £15 a game, if that's correct. Which, let's face it, it's only 50% more than Burton are charging us next Saturday.
I thought you'd get that mentioned in there. It is. And also, it's worth mentioning that obviously the club during the summer did massively push the flexi ticket thing as well, which a lot of fans bought. And I saw, again, some comments on social media. And again, people watching this thinking, it's a bit of an overreaction. The comments especially on the club's Facebook page, 30, 40 comments all along these sorts of lines. So clearly, Saints fans are concerned about the situation regarding the ticketing for Burton. And it's just something that, again, Lee, you're right. It feels like it could have been a bit more avoided, or a bit more communication, a bit more messaging to fans. So hopefully some fixes are coming this week, with the trust contacting the club, try to work with the club on it. And then hopefully the medium ground that works for everyone. And by this time next week, we've forgotten all about this, right?
Also with Burton, I find it staggering if we haven't got the tickets by this weekend and we can't sell them at Saturday's game, which part it would boost the attendance then. They're a professional club. They've been Football League for quite a few years now. So it's 2 weeks to get the tickets from the replay date to getting us the tickets. No way. I don't believe that.
And don't forget as well, Burton are one of the teams that our co-owners wants to model our future on. So
we have succeeded.
That bodes well.
We've succeeded already, Lee. So they should have the tickets down to us in time for Saturday's game. I remember when we played Mansfield, I drove up there and delivered their tickets to them. And so I just find it staggering, the whole thing. Just amazing in this day and age how it could be so inefficient. Anyway.
Yeah, I think, both clubs have problems here, and unfortunately it's supporters that are stuck in the middle at the minute, isn't it, and suffering. So,
and they're the ones that suffer. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on, mate. Spot on again.
Right, any other AOB?
Oh goodness me! I don't think.
There's a story going around. We have a new head of media after Joe Campbell was headhunted by Wildstone the other week.
Is it you?
It suggested he may have actually started this week. You've got to laugh if he has started. There's been no announcement. Things are really picking up in the media department. Let's hope he's starting next week, or she.
Anything else, Dave?
Good Good luck.
Oh, goodness me.
Well, listen, boys. I hope you get your tickets for the Burnt game sorted out.
Yeah. Well, are you not joining us, Lee?
I will be, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Oh, dear. All right, Dave, anything else?
No, I think we've hung ourselves enough today, haven't we?
Yeah. Lee, anything else?
No, mate. Let's go.
Oh, goodness me. Podful of Saints on Twitter, email description below. Get in contact. Let us know your thoughts and feelings. Thank you all for watching and listening as always. And we'll speak to you again next week. Come on, you Saints. Bye-bye.